having issues.
All right. No, I don't want it like this. End this and do it all over again.
I think there was a. There you go.
Hello.
Oh. Right here.
No, that
No,
just turned the
that's us
camera
again.
in. Hello. Figuring it out. Why is this sucking? I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, this is... Alright, it wants us to do a portrait video, which I really don't want to do, but I'm just going to do it and we'll figure it out later. This might be the only portrait live video you ever see from us. Alright, so this is the 2020 Aston Martin DBS Superleggera Volante. And before we get into this car and your questions, just a few announcements just to get through. One, if you like these videos and if you've been watching for a little while, maybe you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate if you subscribe. It just helps us grow, and hopefully it means we can get these videos to more folks, more people who would like these. And speaking of, share it. If you like the video, share it. Chances are, if you like it, your friends are gonna like it, and they'll be like, yo, I'm so glad you shared that video, Frank. No one on here is named Frank, I don't think. So yeah, like and share. And the way you get your questions answered earlier would be to follow me on Instagram at @milesper, just like the name of the channel, and ask me those questions when I put up the photo and question, what do you want to know, usually a day before this goes live. So all that done, all that out of the way, and now we're going to get into the DBS Superleggera Volante. And I'm really glad it's a very sunny day because we can see this incredible paint color pop. And yeah, so let's do the first question.
All right. What is your favorite car that you've driven from Loaded J?
Loaded J asks, what's my favorite car that I've driven? And I like the specification driven because we've already a couple times answered my favorite car, Ford GT, but favorite car that I've driven, oh boy, for a long time, it was the McLaren 675 LT. Now that car is a couple years old at this point, and I have driven some other amazing cars since then. I mean, that one's still pretty high up there. The 675 LT is kind of just incredible. So I'm gonna go with that one. And until the 750 LT comes out, which the 720S is amazing, and that would be the only one that's close to it. So 675 LT from McLaren. Okay, next question.
Hi, miles per hour from Oops Soup.
Hello, Oop Soup. I like your name. We have an inside family joke about soup that I'll tell you later. Maybe at 50,000 subscribers, I'll tell you the soup joke.
Does this sound better than the Vanquish S from Blake Swan?
Oh, okay. Well, let's go make some noise, and then I will talk more about that. Before that, I left the top up because I wanted to show you how the convertible top goes down. So we can do that right now, and then I will start it up and we can talk about it. So come on over here, Christina.
I know, I really wish this was a landscape.
I know, I don't know why, I've been having issues with the YouTube app, so it's only in portrait. Okay, so, actually I don't even have to, no, I do have to start the engine. So, starting up the engine. Press the crystal start-stop button with the Aston Martin crest in it. Looks super cool. The AC is gonna go nuts because it's a hot day here in SoCal. Now, to put the convertible top down, there's a switch right here that I can never remember if you push or pull at the time. I'm thinking pull. Okay, pull, top going back. Push, top going. It doesn't take very long at all, as you can see. And you can do this up to 30 miles an hour. Done. That's the top. Oh yeah, so I'm going to now rev it. So go on towards the back. It sounds great. One thing that's a fun thing to point out about this Sorry, I keep having to walk over because it's portrait mode, it's not landscape. I'm super bummed about that. Anyway, so I can't bang off the rev limiter while I'm sitting here idling. In some cars, you can just like, it doesn't let me do that. If I try to keep going with throttle input, it'll just go and then it'll just hold it as the tachometer needle is going down. So I wish I could do that. I can't, but we can still hear at 7,500 RPM where it redlines. It sounds pretty darn good. But, and that is because it's the 5.2 liter V12, but it's twin turbo. And I'm gonna harp on that for a second because twin turbo, a lot of vehicle manufacturers are doing this to get as much power as possible without having to increase the displacement of the engine. So the last generation, or I guess it was the Vanquish at this point, the Vanquish S, can't remember, Christina and I, you drove that, we drove that together, right? Yeah, so it was a gray Vanquish S, and that uses a 6.0 liter naturally aspirated V12. More displacement, no turbos. Because of that, the sound it makes is so violent and beautiful that I think it puts this Aston Martin built 5.2 liter V12 twin turbo to shame. I love the V12. V12 is super smooth, but the noise from that 6 liter NA V12 from the last generation, or from the Vanquish S, it just happens to beat this this DBS Superleggera. Okay, next question. Sorry, long-winded answer. Oh, who asked that? That was Blake, right? Blake Swan.
Okay, but I have a comment because I just wish the camera was on me when you were revving it. Gusts of wind were blowing.
We could do that again. We can do that again. You're get down there. I mean, that's great. I'm gonna blow that exhaust deck.
So I have to flip the camera around?
Yeah, you just hit the flip camera button,
All right.
And this is very healthy.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
The last one worked.
Did it get breezy?
The last one.
Okay, so your recommendation is to go behind the exhaust of very powerful supercars and just get blown away, literally. Okay, next question.
All right. Favorite part and least favorite part from Be Real Swan.
Be Real Swanee. Favorite part, least favorite part. Favorite part is gonna be just the way it looks. Aston Martin makes beautiful, beautiful vehicles, and this one is no exception. So I'm blown away with the design. Let's do a quick walk around. Again, I wish it was in landscape mode, but it's okay. You can just see how stunning this vehicle is. Whether orange is your thing or not, you can see the lines are so good. This car gets so much attention, whether it's in silver or this, neon orange. It just gets so much attention. It's beautiful. That is by far my favorite part of the DBS Superleggera Volante. Least favorite part is it's small, but I'm very particular, so I don't like this. The paint color is a different color orange from the brake calipers. There's a reason for that. The brake calipers need to be coated in a different material that is going to withstand intense heat, whereas the paint is not going to have to deal with those kind of intense heat pressures, so they can paint it in a different color. But why they chose to spec, which you have to pay for these, you have to pay for the brake colors to be orange, why they chose to spec them in an orange that is different from the body, I don't understand. I would just have those be silver or gray or black. I think silver would look really good. But to have it be orange, but not quite the same orange, that irks me a little bit. I know it's nitpicky, but that's, you asked, my least favorite part is. There you go. What's the next question?
Why this over a Mercedes AMG GTC?
Why this over a Mercedes AMG GTC? Who asked that? It doesn't say. I think I know who. The Mercedes AMG GTC is significantly cheaper than this. This car starts at $328,000. The GTC, I think, starts around 150, 140, or at least the last one I test drove was around that price. I don't think I have to go into the design of this versus the design of the GTC. The GTC is a beautiful car. It doesn't hold a candle to this. You see a GTC pull up and this pull up, all of the eyes are going to go to this, whether this is orange again or whether it's black or whatever. This is just a beautiful, beautiful car. The GTC, very good looking car, doesn't compare in terms of design. That alone. And then there is the sound of the exhaust. Even though this isn't quite as profound as the naturally aspirated V12, it still does sound amazing. And it's a V12. There's so few V12s still left on the market. So those two things together, and the exclusivity, I would say I go for this. You can see more GTCs out there because they're much cheaper, but this, the exclusivity. But the GTC is a great car. I found it actually a little stiff for me, not as grand toury as this. So this would be more actually pleasant to daily drive, this than the GTC. Okay, hope that answers your question.
Does it feel as big as it looks when driving? From Draco Jacob.
How does it feel as big as it looks when driving? Well, it certainly does look large, but it doesn't drive that way. So because of Aston Martin's really sophisticated engineering, the suspension is really dialed in, so it's not harsh because it's a Grand Tour, but it really does handle very well. It feels large, probably not as large as it looks, and that just comes down to doing really great things with the suspension tuning. So yeah.
All right. How much lighter is it? Superleggera means super light. From
Ote Manu says, how much lighter is it? Because Superleggera means super light. That's absolutely true. Great point. Superleggera is in Italian. It means super light. And you come to this vehicle, the coupe or the convertible, the Volante. You come to this vehicle expecting perhaps super light. Not what you're going to encounter. I believe this vehicle is, I cannot remember the actual curb weight. I didn't list it for Christina, unfortunately. But I know that the Volante is 220 pounds lighter than the coupe. So, vice versa. The coupe is 220 pounds lighter than the Volante. A lot of weight goes into the components of the mechanical soft top that goes and retracts, and the structural reinforcing they have to do to make it safe in a rollover collision. So that's where the extra weight comes from. But Superleggera, it is not in the world of supercars. It is not light. It's
around 406 pounds.
What? 400? What?
406 pounds.
No, that's not right. You're gonna need another decimal or another number in there. I think it's probably 4,000 pounds, somewhere in that range. But it's not crazy light. I don't want to harp too much on that. So let's just move on to the next question. Christina tried to look it up. I appreciate it. It's not 406 pounds. That is the difference between a car enthusiast and a non-car enthusiast.
Hey.
No, I love you. You just got that wrong.
It's really hard to look things up and film.
I know. You're killing it.
Okay. How does the horn sound on this thing? From Omar Drive.
Love the question. Omar drives, good friend of mine. How's the horn sound? So let's just go towards the front. I don't actually even need to get in the car. Although, when you do get in the car, check out these doors. They don't just swing out, they swing out and up. So, one, it's more elegant than just a normal, across door, but it also is practical so you avoid those curves. You're pulling up into a parking space. Just a note, just fun note. All right, let's honk that horn. 3, 2, 1. Loud. It's high pitched. It's sharp. I kind of feel like it should be deeper. Let's do it one more time.
I wasn't ready.
Okay, sorry. One more time. Okay. I guess it's elegant.
Honk.
It's a little,
Yeah, it's a honk.
hello, I'm here. But it's not deep belly. It's not V12 honk right there. Not for me. Okay. You have to stay in frame. Portrait sucks. Unless you're watching on your smartphone, I guess that could be cool. Which I hope you are.
Okay, is it practical from It's Caleb?
Is it practical? No. Okay, no, I'll do more than just that. It does have a trunk, but because it is a convertible, the trunk or the convertible top has to go somewhere, and it goes in the trunk. I can show you the trunk. It is right here. Button here. Go over to the trunk. If the convertible top is up, you have 7 cubic feet of space. So, you know, the problem with this trunk is, you know, you're not going to be able to fit like a set of golf clubs or anything wide at all in here. You will definitely be able to fit some groceries, but your bags, you can kind of maybe clear them here, but you're going to have to lean a lot of things down on the side. When the convertible top is stowed, as it is right now, you only have 6 cubic feet of space. When it's up, you have 7 cubic feet of space. Not a ton of room. As vehicles of this price and performance level go, this is fine, but practical, it is not. You do get an umbrella though, and that's practical right there. You know, you're out, it's raining, all of a sudden, you're like, hey, convertible top go up, got my umbrella. That is probably the most expensive umbrella on the planet. Okay.
Okay, what's that color called from Excalibur?
Excalibur asks, what's that color called? I'm glad you asked, Excalibur. This color is called Cosmos Orange, and if you get close, which I recommend you do, you can see, this is why I wanted it to be in the sun. There's some intense metal flaking going on here. It's pretty spectacular. It's hard to see with the camera, much easier with the naked eye, but there's some real intense metal flake to this paint, and you appreciate it more the closer you get. I am not one to drive around in an orange vehicle like this or a lime green vehicle like this. This would not be my personal color choice, but this is a Q exclusive color. So Aston Martin has their natural colors, all of which cost extra, and then you have your Q exclusive. Q exclusive is Aston Martin's in-house like design customization shop, and they will paint your car this color, or you could have any paint a sample color. You could, I know there's a guy on Instagram who like got some rock from the moon, crushed it up, and then put it in a paint, and he has that coming on his upcoming Valkyrie. That's what you can do with Q exclusive. But this paint is $10,000. This car has $60,000 of options on it. So it has a really nice car of just options. And then the $10,000, you can get a decent used car for the paint color cost on this car. Wild. Okay, next question. Anyone on YouTube asking questions right now? A few. Okay, one more from Instagram. This is why you get the Instagram ones first. Or, hey, you know, if you want to give me a donation via Super Chat, I would love you forever. So, just a consideration. Anyway, okay, last Instagram.
Why do the badges look different from
Timo Tropic, good question. Why do the badges look different? So, that's a keen eye. So come on over here, and we'll look at 3 different badges here. We've got the DBS on the side. See, it's kind of like a marble texture to that, and I'll explain why. Come on over here to the Superleggera. Super light written out on the hood. And then finally, the Aston Martin crest here on the nose. As I mentioned, it's got this kind of swirly, marbly look to it, and that comes from the fact that it is a chopped carbon fiber insignia. So all the badges, this is an extra, again, everything's extra. All the badges are chopped carbon, which is the way Aston Martin cures the carbon in its process of curing carbon fiber. They chop up the bits and then they like, I don't know specifics on this, but I know that it's a chopped carbon, and the way they cure it in the resin is how they get this cool pattern, and it's lighter than any metal, and it's stiffer like carbon fiber. So that is why the badges look different. Great question. I loved it. Can't you tell? I loved it.
We have Mr. O'Moon saying hello.
Hello, Mr. Amoon. Thanks for tuning in.
Andrew Parker GP says hello, Miles.
Andrew Parker GP, what up?
Anna Moon calls you Mr.
Mr. Flo. I like that.
Flo.
Flowing. No, I'm not going to do that dance. It's not good. Christina doesn't want me to do that dance.
Is this your first supercar? If not, what did you have before this one? That's for Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson Sr., great question. This is not my first supercar. To keep it on the subject of Aston Martins, I've had both the DBS Superleggera Coupe, and before that I had the Vanquish S. I've also had a Vantage, I've had the Rapide, so a number of different Aston Martins. Lamborghini, kind of you name it, the Aventador. I've not driven the SVJ. I would love to drive the SVJ. That's coming up. I just recently had the Huracan Evo Spider. I've had the Huracan Performante. I've had previous Huracans, McLarens. I've had the 570S. I've had the 720S. I've had the 675 LT. And Ferraris. Ferrari, I had the, recently, what was that? The Portofino. That's actually the only Ferrari I've ever reviewed. I would love to review the newest ones. I can't remember the name of, not the 488. 488 was before this. Can't remember. Maybe someone can comment. Help me out. What's the latest Ferrari? The one that were like in the line of the 458.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Does the Corvette ZR1, Hellcat, Red Eye, or the GT500 cars impress you? And would you consider going with one of them?
Oh. Quick answer, yes. Does the Corvette ZR1, the Hellcat, and was it the Cherokee Trackhawk?
GT500.
Oh, sorry, the Mustang GT500. So yes, do muscle cars really get me going? Yes, absolutely. In my heart of hearts, I can't wait to own a V8 muscle car. Now is not the right time, but I will own one at one point. So those cars definitely impress me, and I would seriously consider one. I can't tell you how many times I have shopped, done the online configurator for a Challenger RT Scat Pack wide body. I've configured it a million times. I know the price. It's going to be 46 grand to get the one I want, but I don't have 46 grand right now. I need a lot more super chats. And if you want to support me on Patreon, do that too. Just doing a lot of plugs today. But yes, I would love one of those cars. Relative to this, well, I mean, money is just money, right? So this is $388,000 as tested, $328,000 to start. I can't imagine a universe in which I would say, yeah, I can afford that, but yeah, I would love one of these. Okay, what else?
Okay, so Bro Body Skull says amazing. And Andrew,
Agreed.
thanks Andrew Parker GB because he remembers that you reviewed the Bugatti Chiron.
Oh, excellent. Good. How did I forget that?
I know.
That car was so incredible. It was the most expensive car I've ever driven. Yeah, so the Bugatti Chiron was, it's like a $3 million car. It's nuts. Now there's, of course, the Devo, which I would love to drive, but Bugatti's probably forgot my name.
Not true. Okay.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Okay, so those are the questions we have. Do you want to talk about some of the options?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, there's $60,000 of options. Because I'm not going to do a review for this car, this actually goes back tomorrow. I had it for 1 day. Or actually goes, sorry, it goes back in an hour. I had this for 1 day. So I want to talk about some of the things I would normally review on it. Clearly, the design, as I've already discussed, is gorgeous. The interior, we haven't really looked at the interior much, so let's go look at the interior. Maybe you go to that side. Ordering her around. He orders me around most of the time, okay? So this is just the one time I get a chance. How do the door handles work? Can you manage that?
Yeah.
So you push in one side and then you pull it out. Isn't that cool? I already mentioned how the doors swing up. That's rad. There are so many ways you can spec out this interior. If you go on Aston Martin's configurator website, which I've done many times because I get bored, you can spec out this interior in so many ways. This, what did they call, it's on the spec sheet, I sent this to Christina. There's a specific name for this black with the orange piping. I know this is called California Poppy, and this is one of 3 ways or 4 ways you can spec out individual characteristics of the seat leather. California Poppy orange stitching. Again, they stuck with the orange theme with the brake calipers and clearly the Cosmos orange paint and this California Poppy. I don't know how I remember that.
I see geode quilting.
Geode quilting. Okay, I don't know what that means.
That's that stuff.
Oh yes. Well done, Christina. That is the name for this specific type of quilting, this design of the quilting. You can get like normal diamond stitch, or you can get this rad geode quilting. That's cool.
But that will cost you $4,600.
That's $4,600. That's $4,600 to get some interesting stitching. The world of billionaires and millionaires, I don't know. Monies.
What is the under bonnet jewelry pack?
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad you brought that up. I would be remiss if I did not mention this car's under bonnet jewelry pack. So the way you lift this up is pretty cool. Go wide angle real quick. It's a clamshell bonnet. Bonnet is English, proper English, British English for hood. So you raise it up this way. Clamshell is the way the hood raises. So instead of a normal front hood where it just kind of goes like this raises from the rear and exposes all of the engine. And check this out. It exposes the wheels as well. And you can see all of these strakes, which are carbon fiber here, and they help manage the airflow of this vehicle. Super cool, and just getting to look at all of the front tire and the suspension, it's just rad. This is just so cool. Yes, so it's upset because we keep going landscape, which we really should be. And then, okay, so we've got some reinforcements here between the strut tower braces for, this is the strut tower brace, for the engine. This helps with the rigidity, helps with the handling. And then we see this 5.2 liter twin turbo V12 engine, hand built by, what's the guy's name? Torin Hayden. Torin, I'm going to screw that up, very sorry. Torin Hayden, hand built this 5.2 liter V12 twin turbo engine. That's awesome. But okay, the jewelry pack, your original question. Sorry, I wanted to show the clamshell hood and I got all excited. That means that you get genuine gold on the underside of this carbon fiber hood. Now, why would you put gold in an engine bay? Gold is actually very heat resistant. So they used it in the McLaren F1. It was very heat resistant, so you'd open the McLaren F1's engine, it would just be gold everywhere, and you'd be like, wow, it's like jewelry. That's where they got the name. So there's gold up there, and then there are brass like screws and elements. The oil cap over there is brass. That is where the jewelry pack name comes from. And that's just rad. The way you close this hood, do you have any questions related to that? Anything else? Okay, I'm just reviewing it right now. I don't want to make this too long, but if anyone cares. Okay, so I gotta be very ginger with this.
Oh, we do have another.
Okay. It's gonna be slow. And it's soft close, so as soon as you click it, then it actually like closes itself. Get this one just right.
Oh, thanks for returning from Prathamesh Pavaskar.
Oh,
Can you please show a special feature? Cool car.
Okay, special feature.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. The gold is pretty incredible. So I did. Do you need to go over there? So the gold is a pretty cool feature. The carbon fiber all over the vehicle is pretty incredible. The number of specs, the number of options on it is pretty amazing. I'm gonna move the car just because this gentleman is trying to do his job.
Sorry. And then we'll show a cool feature.
One cool feature is just that all of the drive modes, or sorry, not drive modes, but your gear selector is up here on the actual dashboard. So I would press drive right here. Where's going to be out of the way for this gentleman? Okay, here we go. He's also spraying chemicals, and I don't necessarily want to inhale that, so we're just going to move over here. We can hear the car quietly just rumbling along.
Should we drive?
We could drive a bit, and I could just answer some questions while we're driving. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, it's gonna be real zoomed in on myself. Because we're in portrait mode. Stupid YouTube. Alright, so I am now going to make the windows go up a little bit because I want to be able to hear things. Okay. Cool features. How about the fact that literally everything in here is leather? Everything that's not carbon fiber or stitching or metal is leather. There's leather all up on the dash. There is leather wrapping for the infotainment. Have you ever seen that before? They just wrapped the infotainment in leather. That's absurd, but they did it because this is $328,000. There's leather all over the center console. This is cool. You press this button for the center console to go back. It reveals your cup holders and the key. Here's the key. You want to see it? It's actually a totally unremarkable key. This just feels like any old key. Kind of cheap too. That's weird. I know you can get this like in glass. This is why you need to pay for more options and get that key in glass. Okay, so we are in sport mode. So this is how you control the powertrain over here in sport. The S button, and then this what looks like a strut and shock is over here, and that's how you control the suspension. So I can independently control the suspension from the powertrain setting. So I'm not going to mess with this. I want it to stay in its most comfortable setting, but I will mess with. How's the lighting right now? Is it terrible, or should I be going that direction? Christina, looking at you.
I'll make a left.
Okay, I'm gonna make a left. Then I'm gonna put this into, there's 3 modes for the powertrain. There's GT, which is your standard everyday comfortable, which I would never go in, just to be honest, because I want to hear that exhaust, and it's so quiet in GT. It could be any car. So I would be in sport, where I'm in right now, and then you can go up to Sport Plus if you really want all of that overrun, can't speak today, like this. Pops. The pops from the unburned fuel.
Oh, camera's going crazy.
You can also distinctly hear both of the turbochargers gathering, sucking in air. Wonderful mechanical noises. I don't know if I've actually answered your cool features thing yet. I've kind of talked about some cool things about how you can get leather wrapping all over, the gold in the engine bay. Omar Drives asked about the horn, which I didn't actually think that was a cool feature, but it's a great question anyway. You gotta know what the horn sounds like on a $328,000 car.
Pauskar.
Pauskar?
Well, he's the one who asked, and he said he appreciates it.
Okay, you're welcome.
He also is asking, how do you get a car during quarantine?
That is a very practical question, and I'm sure many other people are wondering that. Well, I work directly with the manufacturers instead of going through dealerships and having to do that. And the manufacturers, most of them, there are some that have kind of shut the valve off on letting journalists get cars. Audi is one of them right now. Fiat Chrysler Automotive, I actually may be able to get a car from them. Ford has said no. So I can't get cars from those manufacturers. But the other ones still use their fleet management companies to have people come deliver the vehicles to me, and we have a no-contact delivery. So they drop off the car, they sanitize the steering wheel, the exterior, the door handles, all of that stuff, and then they leave the key somewhere in the car, and they call me and they say, hey, the car is parked in your driveway. I don't have a driveway. The car is parked in front of your house. I don't have a house, I have an apartment. The car is parked in front of your apartment, and we put the key there. You can come out and get it. When I am done with the car and they need to come pick it up, I do the same thing. I just wipe some things down. I put the key in the glove box or under the carpet in the front, in the driver's seats. And that's how I get cars from them in the safest way possible during quarantine. I hope that was useful information. So.
What are smoked rear tail lamps?
Christina's asking questions. The best. Okay, hang on. Tunnel. It didn't jump on it until the end. Bummer. Smoked rear taillights are just darkened taillights. And you do have to pay for that in the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera Volante. I don't know how much you have to pay for it, but it's probably way more than any other manufacturer would charge you.
That's $750. That's your cheapest
750.
option.
That's reasonable. That is the cheapest option. Wow. Wow. The world of the rich. All right.
What about power seat bolsters? I'm just asking all these questions.
Power seat bolsters. Christina's just going ham with it on the options list, just asking me about how you spend $60,000 in options for a car. The power seat bolsters are these controls here that adjust your bolsters on the side so you can make them tighter on your body or looser if you want a more, plush and cozy ride. Yeah, if you're going to get aggressive with your driving, or say you have a very narrow body, you want those power seat bolsters to come in tight on you. And I suppose if you are of larger proportions, you would want those to be able to relax on your body. So that is what the power seat bolsters are.
Okay, so the leather color is called AML Special.
AML Special. Aston Martin Lagonda is what that stands for. Special. That's kind of a boring name for what the leather color is called. It's just black. It's also black. I suppose that's more exciting.
So is the carpet color.
The carpet is also called AML. No.
Contemporary.
Contemporary. That is a boring name for the carpet. Wow, yeah, that's pretty boring.
What about dark chrome satin carbon interior pattern?
Oh, that's the carbon fiber inlays here, and they are satin, which is just another way of saying they are matte. There's a very smooth texture to them, but it looks awesome.
Oh, that's very nice. From Prathamesh Pavaskar, he's saying, you're gonna get big.
Oh, thank you,
I've
Prathamesh.
been here since the Chihuahua review.
Oh, dude, you're the best. Thanks for hanging around. That has been a while.
We appreciate that.
Do appreciate it, both Christina and I. Thank you for being here. I would just do this video for just you.
All right, is there anything else?
All right,
that you
I think
wanted to talk about?
that's gonna pretty much do it for the DBS Superleggera. If you have other questions, you're more than welcome to comment them, and I answer my comments every day. So if you ask a question, I will 100% answer it. If there was something I missed going through all these Q&A stuff, this is a very extravagant vehicle. I don't need to tell you that. It is gorgeous. I wouldn't get it personally in this $10,000 Cosmos orange paint. I would probably get it in a... what color would I get this in? I mean, I'm a sucker for British Racing Green, so I'd probably get it in British Racing Green with like a tan-colored interior, and it would wear terribly, but gosh, that would be gorgeous, wouldn't it?
I want the $10,000 orange.
Okay, Christina wants the $10,000 orange. We're just going to strip it off of this car, and we're going to leave it in the room. Be like, oh, it didn't come with that Cosmos orange, Aston Martin. I'm sorry. You have your specs wrong. And she's just going to look at that orange. She's actually going to wallpaper our apartment with it. So we've got that to look forward to. All right, that's going to do it.
Finish with some power.
Finish with some power. Oh, I'm finishing at a stoplight. That's the opposite of power. I can rev it though. Here, put it in neutral. Finishing with some revs. Yes, once again, if you like these videos, if you've been watching them and haven't subscribed yet, I would love a subscribe. That would be amazing. Share them, please, with anyone you think would love them as well. And yeah, feel free to support if you like. I don't not too many ways to scrape a living here. So, want to support on Patreon? That's weird. That's super weird. Ignore that. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Cut. Power.